velocity. Velocity is the amount of work completed in a given sprint. Why is that important? Because any sprint, the developers need to establish a sprint backlog, and basically they need to establish an amount of work that they are going to commit to deliver in the sprint, and the expectation is that they will deliver 100% of the sprint backlog that they have selected. In order to do that, they need to avoid overcommitting. So they need to establish a reasonable commitment. How do they do that? They look at the past sprints, the past few sprints. They look at the velocity for each of the past few sprints, typically the last 3 to 5 sprints. They take the average, that is the average velocity, and they use that as a planning measure to say, okay, we know that we can do this amount of work. Maybe we want to establish a little bit of a buffer, so commit to a little less than that, and that becomes the available capacity they have in the current sprint. So velocity is not a measure of performance. You may have a team with a higher velocity, but that means that they have just estimated their work with more points. Velocity is just a planning measure. It's a tool that developers can use to properly plan the amount of work they're going to commit in a sprint based on how much work they completed in prior sprints. In my CSM and CSPO classes, we actually run the class in sprints. So we use velocity for each sprint and we use it to establish the available capacity for the following sprint. So we practice directly in the class and we learn more. I also share a couple of articles and a video to learn more about how to calculate velocity and how to use it for planning so that you can stay within the reasonable commitment and avoid any overcommitment.